Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and a very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. So on yesterday's show, we were discussing Jason Momoa talking about having really great meetings at Warner Brothers and how he's got a great future with WB and DC. He said that he's so happy with James Gunn for giving him a role he's really excited about. So we made the assumption that he's going to be playing Lobo, and after Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, he won't be playing Aquaman. Well, Jason has been speaking at the Sundance Film Festival. Now, Jason's very famous for talking about DC when he's got another project to promote. DC and Aquaman are popular, right? If he chucks them into the barrel, there'll be more attention on his upcoming projects. Anyway, he has spoken at Sundance and he said some very interesting things. He's been asked if he's playing another DC role, does that mean he will no longer be Aquaman? This is what he said. Ain't no one coming in to take my role as Aquaman. I will always be Aquaman. Now, figuratively, he will always be Aquaman. Christopher Reeve will always be Superman, right? Sam Beckett will always be Sam Beckett. Scott Bakula will always be Sam Beckett, right? But he's blatantly saying that he's not quitting his role as Aquaman in DC Universe. But he went on to even establish more than that. He said he's more than capable of playing more than one role in DC Universe as well as his Aquaman role. He even said there's a lot more to come from him as Aquaman. So I think we can surmise that Jason Momoa is still going to be Aquaman. Now, his first Aquaman movie made over $1 billion. He's very popular as Aquaman. Now, there's some traditionalists who don't like him as Aquaman because he doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. I am not one of those traditionalists. There's some things that I can be very traditional about. Jason Momoa is a really good actor. Jason Momoa is a really good Arthur Curry. There is no reason to replace him as Arthur Curry, and it looks like James Gunn wisely is not going to do so. And I'm happy about that. So what about this Lobo thing? Well, he does say he's capable of playing more than one role in the DC Universe. But what does this say about James Gunn's plan? What does this say about the future of DC Universe? This says, as I've told you wisely many times, and you lot consistently choose to ignore me because all I get is, you ain't got a lot of subs, you ain't got a lot of views, why do you know what you're talking about? Because I do. You don't need to be popular to know what you're talking about. You don't need to be popular to have connections in the industry. You don't have to be a popular figure to have friends in the industry. All of this describes me. Imagine all the people who have connections in the industry and have famous friends. Are they all got 1 million subs on YouTube? Are they popular? Do you know their names? No, you do not. It's the same as me. This is why most of the things I say come true. And there's only one way that Jason Momoa can continue to play Aquaman, Arthur Curry, and Lobo if this is indeed what he's going to do. Now, there's been no confirmation that he is, in fact, going to play Lobo. James Gunn, months ago, put up a picture of Lobo from a comic book. And then somehow, Jason Momoa started talking about it. Now, I'm down for Jason to play Arthur Curry, Aquaman, and Lobo. But clearly, we're going down this multiverse route. Now, we know how Walter Hamada was going to go at this. He was going to use the Flash's Speed Force to create a new timeline. I believe the DC Universe is still the DCEU, but kind of different, kind of the James Gunn DCEU. He's rebranding it as DC Universe. And that's clear. Because clearly the thing needs fixing. I think we can all agree about that. You know, it's such an interesting situation for me. You know, a film like Black Adam, which I watched twice back to back yesterday, including the special features right here, as I was doing the video yesterday, as if you remember, the Amazon man brought me my 4K Ultra HD copy of Black Adam. So I'm watching this film, Black Adam, yesterday, and I'm thinking, this is a really good time at the movies. You know, if I'm going to be a critic and tear it to pieces, I can do that. But it's actually a very, very good film. It's so entertaining and wholesome, and it works as a DC movie. And Jesus Christ, the VFX is fucking stunning. The slow-mo when he does the whole Western thing, when he's about to draw his lightning on the guy who's about to draw his gun because he saw a Western previously. There's some really great gags in that movie. But Black Adam cost a lot of money to make, and it didn't even make 400 million at the global box office. Now, James Gunn and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have already said that that's it for him as Black Adam. Or I think that's what they said. They seem to say that they look forward to working together in the future, but it isn't going to happen. Now, for me personally, after watching that film, it's a great shame. But business is business. Hollywood and Warner Brothers Discovery are not a charity. It didn't work out. I don't think it didn't make enough money because of the quality of the film. I have people messaging me every day saying, Mick, we don't like superhero movies, but Black Adam was a lot of fun. I love the kid in the movie. You know, Aldous Hodge is a great fucking Hawkman. Pierce Brosnan is a great Dr. Fate. Just for the achievement of having Fate and Hawkman in a live-action movie, and their moves, and they look great. We had multiple kind of copies of Dr. Fate at one point. His sacrifice brings tears to my eyes. So there's clearly elements at the DCEU that have worked. And I do believe that DCU is just a rebranded DCEU. It's clear they're not replacing these actors. Now, because let's look at it. Yes, Cavill is being replaced, but Cavill was always being replaced. I'm not convinced that we won't see Henry Cavill as another character in DC Universe. And even James came out on the day he announced he was replacing Cavill as Superman that they have discussed other opportunities in the DC Universe. So Cavill will be back. Jason Momoa potentially could be playing Aquaman and Lobo. Ben Affleck, apparently, they've had discussions for Ben to direct other DC content. So it looks like he wants to keep these people around. Don't ask me what's happening with Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman. That's going to be a very, very interesting situation. Now, just before we'll get back to all this, and with Jason Momoa and Lobo, but there is a Shazam rumor going around that Dr. Savannah and Amelia Harcourt cameo in Shazam Fury of the Gods. Now, you know me, I see a lot of DC test screenings. Shazam Fury of the Gods isn't one of them. But I did kind of talk about a video that gave lots of spoilers for this film over a year ago. And I explained, I did a spoiler alert and everything. So, refer back to that video in my playlist. We know that Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman does come in for a pivotal role near the end of the movie. And I'm not going to get into spoilers yet again, because I know people are close to watching this film and they don't want it spoiled. But everyone knows Gal's going to be in this film. It doesn't look like they're cutting her in this film. And I think it's very interesting on the rumour that Gal and Henry are being cut in the Flash movie, because I believe if people really enjoy Gal's cameo in Shazam Fury of the Gods, then I believe that I think they won't cut her in the Flash movie. I think this could be a big test. So, if you're excited about Gal as Wonder Woman in Shazam Fury of the Gods, tweet about it. So they don't cut her in the Flash movies. Yeah, so yes, the rumour is that Dr. Sivana and Amelia Harcourt are going to be in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I don't know how true this is. Now, David F. Sandberg in the past has said that pretty much that Sivana isn't involved in this movie. Now, I love Mark Strong. I love Mark Strong as an actor. And, you know, Sivana isn't his first appearance in DC. He was in that ill-fated Green Lantern movie. And wasn't he fantastic? Could Mark reprise that role one day? Well, if James is going via a multiverse strategy, maybe. But I would be absolutely hyped to see Sivana again. Because this is an unpopular opinion, but Sivana is one of the strongest DC Extended Universe villains. He was really, really good. And he had a really good backstory in the film. And I just loved how he did his whole villainy thing. How he coldly murdered his own father and brother. The way he killed the brother was bloody brilliant. Now, I'm not saying it's good to kill your brother, although I was tempted as a kid. And like Sivana, who was bullied and mocked by his brother as a kid, I can kind of see the temptation of doing that. I must give you a spoiler alert, I never did that, and I never will do that. But yeah, when you're bullied by your own sibling, you know, mercilessly, you know, so Sivana is a victim in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, not Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the first Shazam film as well. So I would love to see Mark Strong reprise his role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods as Dr. Sivana. Now, this whole thing with Amelia Harcourt, she cameoed in Black Adam, a very good short cameo. Apparently she's going to, you know, reprise that role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Makes sense considering, you know, we had this black site in Black Adam, which was a very interesting place. It looks like it's in the North Pole, although it may not be, but there was a lot of snow there at the time. Obviously, it's kind of laughable that this person is getting all these cameos and other people don't get cameos. It's laughable that Amelia is in Black Adam, but Shazam, who's, you know, basically Black Adam, you know, is basically the enemy of Shazam in the comics. And Shazam didn't cameo in the movie, but Amelia Harcourt did. We know the actress is married to James Gunn. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you, oh, you know, she's his wife, blah, blah, blah. I think she does a really good job as the character. I think she's a really good actor. I like to see her in the DC movies because I think she was really good in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. And, you know, if the guy wants to give his wife work, why not? If I was married and I was a big director like James, I would be giving my wife work. The acting game is very difficult. It's difficult to get work. Why wouldn't you give your wife a leg up with her career? Why wouldn't you support her if you're able to do that? Do I think these rumours are true? I definitely think Amelia Harcourt will cameo in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm not sure about Sivana. I think there's lots of strands in the DCEU that can continue in DC Universe that work. Watching Black Adam, I'm thinking, I want Aldis Hodge to return as Hawkman. I want Pierce Brosnan to return as Fate, but ultimately we may get somebody else wearing that helmet. Now, originally we were told by Dwayne that there was a second post-credit scene where a mysterious figure picks up that helmet. And it's a shame they didn't establish that. The post-credit scene was replaced by an even better post-credit scene of Henry Cavill's Superman. Watching that post-credit scene yesterday, I was like, oh, this is so sad, man. We were all so excited. Henry was like a kid on Christmas Day, and he doesn't get to come back, but I'm convinced he will play some role in DC Universe, and that excites me. And that's good of James to do that if he does it. You know, I explained yesterday how Brandon Routh, you know, people wanted Brandon Routh to play Superman in the Snyderverse, in the DCEU, and Snyder said, no, there's no difference here. And so, you know, each creative wants to choose their own person, although it's utterly suspicious that it looks like Henry is the only one who's going to be removed in this universe. So for me, there's no doubt, or no question. As I predicted months and months ago, I told you that DC Universe was a rebranded DCEU. That's exactly what it is, because they've said on multiple occasions said actor will remain in their roles. Peacemaker 2 is happening. Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad are part of the old DCEU. So there's no question about that. So let's now return to Jason Momoa's comments of not only remaining as Aquaman, but believing he's capable of playing more than one role in DC Universe. How do we structure? How will James and Peter structure this situation? Now, I've already discussed about Walter Hamada's multiverse strategy, which was to create a new timeline. Maybe that's not how James is going to do it. Maybe he'll say in the Flash movie, the multiverse has been opened up and things are seeping through other Earths. So Lobo could come from another universe. And it just happens that Jason Momoa is also playing Lobo. But we don't have a Lobo in the DCEU, which is a rebranded DC universe as far as I'm concerned. So you could just have Jason just playing Lobo anyway, and it wouldn't matter. But if you said he's a multiversal character, it's safe to say that in the multiverse, there's people who look like Jason Momoa, you know, as different characters. There's people in the multiverse who maybe look like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and Margot Robbie as well. There's people in the multiverse, you know, who are Harley Quinn that look like Lady Gaga instead of Margot Robbie. So that's what the multiverse does. It's an interesting facet. It's not really something we've seen within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who are playing with the multiverse strategy as well. The multiverse has become a popular thing to do within entertainment today. And so it could be a thing that these multiversal characters are just seeping through. But the multiverse gives you this opportunity to bring back other versions of these DC characters we've seen in other franchises. And that's a very exciting thing, like Tyler Hoechlin's, you know, Superman and Lois TV show. You can use them in it. Now, we know he's not going to play Superman because James has already said he's going to use another version, a younger version of Superman. He's going to cast a younger actor. We don't know how young that actor is going to be. Now, James Gunn is being, you know, asked, where is this announcement? And, you know, someone said, you know, it's nearly the end of the month. Where is it? He goes, actually, we're only 2/3 into the month. I think James Gunn is on a bit of a wind-up, and he's going to drag this announcement out to the end of the month. It would be a bad look if he delays this announcement, because people will start saying, quite rightly, do you even have a plan? So I hope he sticks to his word and tells us the things he was planning on telling us. I'm quite sure he will. Now, looking like, what is it, the 21st of January today? So it's looking like next week, or maybe the beginning of the week after. Who knows when he's going to do it? But what people aren't talking about right now is a promotional marketing campaign for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, I'm very excited for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I think it's going to be a solid movie. I think it could be just as good as Black Adam, maybe even better. I think it's going to be another fun time at the movies. Do I think the Shazam! Fury of the Gods is going to make big money? No. I think this film definitely cost a little bit more to make than the first one. So they will be looking for a more substantial profit margin within the global box office. And I think Zaslav will be looking at 600 to 700 million at the very least. I think the last movie made just under 400 million. I think it made just a little bit less than the Black Adam movie. But good news for Shazam! Fury of the Gods fans, this film will be releasing in China, unlike Black Adam. Because if Black Adam released in China, it would have hit that magic 400 million mark. And apparently, according to my friends who are box office analysts, if something hits over 400 million, they always consider it for a sequel, and maybe Henry would be Superman still. And maybe, you know, The Rock would still be playing Black Adam. It's a shame he won't be, because there's lots of elements. Now, even though they basically said that he's not going to be involved in the future at this point, I think Aldis Hodge as Hawkman, and Aldis has come out and said he really wants to reprise that character, and he thinks, you know, he likes James Gunn and he likes Peter Safran. So I think Aldis Hodge will continue to be Hawkman in this universe, and I think that's a good idea, because I like Aldis Hodge as Hawkman. I think he's really, really good. As I said earlier, I'm not sure about Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I think it was a great launch pad for the character, but Pierce isn't getting any younger, but I'm not opposed for that reason for him to reprise that role. I just feel there's an opportunity because of Black Adam to basically say somebody else picks up that helmet. And I think that's what they're going to do. Dr. Fate, the helmet of Naboo, is a great premise in DC Comics. But look, when you look back at Black Adam and you look at Aldis as Hawkman, he looks terrific. He plays the role brilliantly. The problem with Black Adam is we weren't allowed to establish more of a backstory of Hawkman and Dr. Fate. We know they're friends. The chemistry between Pierce Brosnan and Aldis Hodge is so good. And you really believe these people are friends. The way he says, I'm an emotional old fool. He says, I want to save my friend's life. And he does. It's a great moment within the film. So I definitely think there's no issue with Aldis Hodge continuing as Hawkman. I haven't heard any complaints for any reason. I think it would be wrong just to recast him for comic book accuracy. And I think he did a good job. Also, Quintessa Swindell and Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher and the girl who does the wind. I always forget her bloody name when I press record on the video, but never mind. They were great too. I'd like to see them again. I think we will see elements of that film again. As I say, Sarah Shahi was great. The kid was great. And, you know, the comedic guy in it was hilarious when he gets shot and he goes to Dr. Fate, Doctor, can you help me? And basically Dr. Fate goes, I'm not that kind of doctor, but you're not going to die now. He goes, how do I die then? He goes, keep away from electric. But he goes, I'm an electrician. I think it's really funny. And that's what I mean about that film. It's got great gags. It's got a great emotional element pulling at your heartstrings. The film works. The film isn't a bad film. It's just not a great film. It's a really good film. When you're watching it, you absolutely get entertained. So it's just a shame not enough people were attracted to watch a Black Adam movie. It's one of those strange situations. You've got The Rock starring in a movie. And isn't this the problem with the DC Extended Universe? When was the last time you saw a DC Extended Universe movie making money? Exciting. The general audience, well, it was Zack Snyder's Justice League. But in terms of theatrical, you know, Birds of Prey failed. The Suicide Squad failed. You know, Wonder Woman 84 didn't exactly delight people. And Black Adam didn't do well either. Peacemaker did okay on HBO Max. So you can see why they're attempting to rebrand the DC Extended Universe into DC Universe and change the structure of that franchise. And very soon, hopefully, James Gunn will tell us what the hell is going on. So Jason Momoa isn't going anywhere as Aquaman anytime soon. And I'm more than okay with that. I'm sure Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is going to be a film that everybody is going to love. I'm excited for everyone to see that film. But yeah, and him as Lobo is, yeah, I think he's going to be great. And Lobo is one of those characters that you do want to see. There's a lot of excitement about Lobo entering the DC universe. And I'm one of those people that's truly excited for the future. But let's not forget, we've got 4 DC movies this year that you can go and see, that I can go and see, that we can get excited about. The trailers, the hype, 4 DC movies in 1 year. Isn't that exciting? Doesn't that hype you up? And we'll see how they do at the global box office. Shazam! Fury of the Gods comes first. And I mean, we're getting a Flash movie this year. And I was thinking about this the other day, despite the serious issues with Ezra Miller, in terms of the film, it's a very exciting situation. We're getting a Flash movie that delves into the multiverse. Now that might not be as big a deal as it was when Walter Hamada was going to use this film to create a new timeline, and who knows if they're still using this film somewhat. And then we're getting, a Blue Beetle film. I mean, that's great. We wanted to see Blue Beetle for years. It's going to be brilliant. A great lead young actor. Yes, he's from Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai was announced to be streaming its 6th and final season soon on Netflix. I was really shocked about that, but will free the lead to do a lot more in DC Universe with Blue Beetle. But it looks like Blue Beetle is a very important film for the future of DC. James Gunn has promoted the poster about 2 months ago. He hasn't been promoting the other movies. That's interesting as well. So Blue Beetle is a really big deal. And test audiences have been telling me it's a really great experience thus far, reminding you that a test screening isn't the finished article, and it's there so people can go there and say, you got this right, you got that wrong, maybe you could change this. That's the whole point of a test screening. But the test screenings are very positive. Now, in terms of Black Adam, the ratings for the Black Adam test scores weren't great, to be honest with you. But they were saying what we said once we saw the movie. The action is fantastic. It has more action than kind of character narratives. It does a good job with the characters, Black Adam, but it doesn't do enough. You feel that you could have seen a lot more from this movie. This movie's only around 2 hours long, and it focuses on the action. It focuses on being a stunning, sensory event. And in that element, it works. And, let's not forget Lorne Balfe's music. He composed the score for Black Adam, and oh boy, did he do a good job. And going back and looking at his films, I didn't realise some of the films he's done. I think, was it him who did Happy Feet? Not too sure. But he's done a lot of stuff. So, Lorne, wow, that score for Black Adam was absolutely brilliant. I'm not too sure who's doing the score for Blue Beetle. So Blue Beetle is an utterly important film because Blue Beetle has all the elements to succeed. It's about a young boy finding his way in the world, a young Latino boy with a Latino family. A very important movie. So I think people hopefully will be attracted to that movie. Look, the question of DC has always been exciting the general audiences, and ultimately general audiences haven't been excited enough by DC movies. Now I think the problem goes back to the Snyderverse, where I love the Snyderverse, but the general audience really didn't embrace it enough. And what happened after Justice League, the trust was broken. But saying all of that, people came back straight after to watch Aquaman. But Aquaman deserved its $1 billion. The audience are not stupid. Aquaman, the first film, is a brilliant movie. It does a great job. It's even more stunning visually than Black Adam is. It is such a good, strong, emotional movie. And I love it. And I think everyone's going to love Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And I feel that, despite Amber Heard, I wouldn't rob myself of a great film because of Amber. It's not the way I roll. I'm a DC fan. I want to see the next piece of DC content. So I think we've got a great year ahead. And I think for the people who are not as excited as I am, I would say once the hype starts, once we get into it and we get those DC Universe announcements as well, I think you will be hyped too. This has been Saturday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen!